It's not about the 50 good jobs you do. It's about that one bad job you do, because they're going to talk about that one. That's the one they're going to associate with. Dude, earn it. Get through that job. I promise you, people are going to respect you that you didn't even know were watching.
What's happening, Skid Steer Nation? It's Ryan, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in this week to this week's episode. I had the privilege of being able to interview Sy Kirby. Sy Kirby is the founder and owner of SyCon, Excavation and Utilities. And from the first few minutes, I knew that we were into something special. He doesn't just run an excavation company. He literally runs a machine. Guys, this business has done everything from managing 33 employees to laying down some of the biggest site work projects in Arkansas. This episode, though, isn't just about scale. It's really about what it takes to build something that lasts. The failures, the flip trucks, the hard-earned lessons, and the moments that make it all worth it. We went really deep on this one, guys, with sales, leadership, YouTube, bad equipment buys. We've all been there. And what Sy thinks most operators get completely wrong when they think owning a skid steer is their ticket to making $1 million. If you've ever thought about growing your crew, chasing bigger work, or even just getting more dialed in, this episode might be your blueprint. So grab your coffee, fire up your machine, head over to that job site, put your ear pods in, sit at your desk, but tune in, and this is going to be a great episode. Before we tune into the episode, let me say this to you guys directly. If you are an owner of a land service or excavation company and you're still waiting for referrals to save your winter and to grow your business, trust me, you're already behind. While your competitors are prepping to slow down and ride out the winter season, we're over here helping serious operators throttle up their business. Guys, we'll dial in your Google presence. We'll make sure that your website actually works, ranks high, and converts. And we'll build the kind of local trust that brings in more steady leads for you, even possibly in the dead of winter. Don't wait until spring to realize that you should have started months ago. Go to throttledupmarketing.com and book your free call. The link is in the show notes. You're not just losing time, you're losing market share, and we know how to fix that. The show is also powered by none other than Skid Steer Nation. Guys, remember, we only carry American-made skid steer attachments. They're created and crafted and manufactured by family-owned manufacturing companies, not large conglomerates. These attachments pass quality inspections. They're not just a line item in a spreadsheet for profit. They make great attachments. It's the reason we started Skid Steer Nation. It's the reason we stick with family-owned manufacturers. So whether you're looking for a brush cutter, a grapple, a snow pusher, a hydro bucket, a grader, guys, we've got them all. There's no gimmicks, real attachments that will provide you with real results. If you're tired of the cheap overseas stuff or just the flimsy metal ones, head over to skidsteernation.com. We have done the homework for you to save you the time. If it's listed on our website, we would buy it for ourselves. Now, with the fun part out of the way, guys, enjoy the episode. Man, I'm excited to do this. I've been excited to talk with you ever since you popped up on the schedule.
Yeah? How did you hear about me?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't. Kim found you, reached out to you. Like, that's why we have a team, right?
Yeah, no, for real. I just didn't know.
Because you're not doing everything yourself, are you? I'm sure you've got some.
So I've got one full-time content guy on the YouTube side and all the social side for SyCon. And then this team is a studio, just like you're probably yourself. I show up. I literally record for an hour and a half a week, and they take care of the rest. I wouldn't be able to keep a show going without it because it was just too much. We started doing like the first, 8, 9 episodes, did it in the kitchen, caught some pretty crazy traction. And this gentleman I actually met redoing his driveway after like the third or fourth contractor couldn't get it figured out. And he's like, "Hey, man, can you do this?" I'm like, "Dude, I for sure can." And
that's his house or his office or? Yeah,
no, it was his house. And then he told me about this place. He's like, "Oh, dude, I got a podcast studio in town." And I'm like, "What?" And I was complaining. I was like, man, I ain't got no time. I got to drop something. Like, this is just way too much going on. Beautiful. And
This is actually my office. So I just sent you a picture in Facebook.
I got you.
So I just swing the camera and I swing the monitor.
Love
and then
it.
it turns into my podcast studio.
Love it. That's
But it was
sick, bro.
I'm kind of I tried to design it this way. I'm still got some things I want to work on, but same as you, like I'll finish this. I'll send the link to Marlon and I will never touch this episode again.
Right. Dude, it's the only way I could do it. Like literally.
It's so time consuming.
Oh,
find the guest, research the guest, interview the guest, edit the video, it's not possible.
No, man, it's really not. But it's needed. That's the other thing. Like, thank God you found a way to keep it going because it's so needed for all these guys, man.
It really is. And I don't know how long you've been doing your podcast and where you're at with your reach and your views and all that, but I'll tell you, it took 2.5 years until I saw that. Whoop.
Yeah. It's a year and I've got 60 something episodes.
Okay.
So I'm about just a little over a year in here in the studio, but we've had some spikes. We've had some big names, some bigger names in the social media world and whatnot. But really it was I didn't think it was going to have a big spike because I built it for a resource to talk about business for the blue collar guys because nobody's teaching us anything. You know what I mean? In the business sector. And we've got these amazing skilled tradesmen from concrete to iron worker, and they want to start their own deal, or they did already start their own deal and jumped off the cliff. But there was no resources when I went looking a couple of years ago, and not true, just specific on the business front. These guys are tradesmen, you know? And anyways, so from government contracting to finances to marriage and business to all of it, we've just kind of talked about it and just tried to be vulnerable about it. But no, podcast has been fun. I've learned a lot, brother. I've learned a lot sitting here talking with a lot of really cool people, and I just get to share the information with them along, just probably like yourself.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but for me, with our daily schedules, like you look at that and you're like, oh God, I got to do an interview today. Like I got to break work. And then you go do the interview and you're like, that fills my cup more than it depletes it. And it's my favorite part of the week.
Like literally, seriously, man. I sometimes definitely depends on the guests and the topic, you know. Yeah. I can only talk about financials so many times, you know, but I know it's helping somebody because I get a DM or just like, you know, yourself for Saturday or Sunday morning. Hey man, I just listened to this episode. I never thought about it this way. Like, dang dude, thanks for having them on. And I'm like, that's why I do it right there. 100%, brother.
Yep. That's so awesome, man.
Man, there's so many different ways to lay a piece of pipe and push a piece of dirt, but
I know.
Put yourself out there and be vulnerable. We're fixing to hit 30K on there. That's kind of like the big thing for us. That was kind of our starting point, and that's where the podcast came from. I was like, oh, I need a podcast because I'm doing YouTube because that's what they do. Yeah. And then turned around and started helping people, man. It's been amazing, but we're in our 10th year business. We started in 2016, started with a Mini X and a skid steer, a Bobcat piece of equipment. You want to talk about choosing every wrong direction to walk. I've gone all the way up into 23, doing just a little under 7 million in sales. And now I'm on my way back down. And as of this week, I'm chopping off my dirt operations, commercial earthwork dirt operations, and just sticking to the pipe game of what we know. So that's kind of like the high speed rail situation over the last decade.
Isn't that cool though? Like you almost have to go explore where your creativity mind or where you want to go. And then you go, oh shit, I really didn't want this.
No, dude. I think, what did I say I said in a comment in LinkedIn, it's like you're building this piece of artwork and it takes forever. And, you lack systems to get this piece of artwork, and it's a struggle to get, you know, the right people and the right tools and the right systems all going. And then you finally get a picture of exactly what you built. And sometimes you just don't like what's hanging on the wall. Yeah. That's kind of how I put it. Like man, I fought so hard to get here. I ain't no richer or no poorer. I'm just the same. I don't want to be just the same. We're obviously moving in the wrong direction. And I think entrepreneurs, a lot of time, dude, they don't really know what right direction is, but they know the wrong one.
I feel like many people, especially, I mean, you've been in business for 10 years. I've got over 10 years in business. And it's lessons that you can hear people tell you. And it's like, I always talk about the movie White Men Can't Jump when they're talking in the basketball court and Wesley Snipes, like, you can listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear Jimmy, right? Like Jimi Hendrix, like you can listen to the outside advice, but if you've never walked that walk, you can't hear that advice.
No.
And like, for me, I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, if it's going to feel redundant, almost like a factory job where the tasks every day are the same, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
But it took a long time to stop chasing the money and start chasing the fulfillment.
Revenues for vanity, profits sanity, man. And I have literally been drugged. I have rode that revenue train and had all the nice equipment, had 6 crews running chaos because I didn't realize that structure and systems was everything to unlocking the door for these guys to be successful, for the company to be successful, and ultimately me to be successful. But I was 7-8 years into the business, and it was brutal. I looking back now, I'm just sitting here going, man, you freaking dumbass. Like, God bless. Why did you buy those dumb trucks?
But you're so much better off today than you were before that experience.
Dude, 100%. It's like you said, it's, when you're talking to somebody if they've lived it or not, just by the experiences they talk about.
We're getting ready to start another venture. And I'll probably I'm 48 now. I'll probably be damn near 50 by the time this thing's really rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And there's everything about me. Like, people are like in their late 40s, early 50s, like, oh, I'm thinking about retirement. I'm slowing down because they're clock punchers, right? And I'm like, dude, the 50s are going to be the best decade ever because, like, I'm going to take all the shit I learned the wrong way and do it the right way this next time around.
Dude, it's so funny. I could literally tell Will, my content guy, he's 21. I'm like, bro, give up your 20s with me and you will never worry about money again in your entire life. But I need you to give up everything a 20-year-old cares about. And he's very disciplined, man. He's been with me 2.5 years, and a high school kid that blew out his Achilles and was going to go play football and was kind of super down. And his best friend passed away just out like a couple of months together. And it was just a brutal time in his life. And I was at church one Sunday, and his dad was like, hey, my son just bought a computer and is in editing and all this. I'm like, no. And at that time, I had just started our YouTube channel because there was snow on the ground, and I could not take another day just sitting in the house, freaking out up on top of the hill. It was like a week, and we're in Northwest Arkansas, but we don't have snow on the ground for a week. Yeah. And so Daddy was going bonkers. So I said, grab my phone, got a tripod, sat in the garage, and I said, this is who we are. This is how we started. And we're going to start showing you the day-to-day behind commercial construction, American infrastructure, and what we go through to put it in the ground. And here we are, almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in January. It's crazy, honestly, man.
And people are going to listen to this and go, damn, he's got almost 30,000 followers. It's the discipline of the schedule for 3 years. It's, if there's one word for anything in business, I'm just like, it's just discipline, right? Like,
it really is. And consistency, man, especially with the media front. Like, it's really not that hard, but it is that hard to, instead of consume the information, understand that during that time you can be, creating the consumption. And when you're in bed sitting there scrolling, you can be putting 2 or 3 videos together for the next day. And once you figure out the rhythm and the new discipline, a month, 2 months in, people are like, well, this ain't really that challenging. And you kind of go with the flow. Yes, the algorithm changes, but like, man, you can kind of figure it out. YouTube is definitely its own thing, I got to say, compared to any of the socials. Like, Oh my gosh. It took us forever on YouTube, but we popped off on TikTok pretty quickly,
Yep.
and Instagram has been a battle, but YouTube is kind of where we start and like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And the thing is like most people start, okay, let's do this marketing campaign and let's go grab content. I went completely backwards, like I've done everything in business. I'm like, oh, let's just start producing all this content with no strategy, no plan. Let's just get this, whatever. This is cool. And once you start putting a plan and strategy and, kind of a schedule is huge. And man, you get in the grind and it's crazy. Time passes so quickly when you're just doing it every day. But it's hard to do it every day. It really is.
Well, you're right. And and the cadence is important because I don't know about you with your podcast, but like our goal is every Wednesday, new episode. And these last 3 months have been really challenging in our personal life here at home with, Tracy getting diagnosed with breast cancer and doing the double mastectomy. And now we're debating on chemo and what's the long-term treatment. So I've been missing a few weeks here and there. And I talked about the cancer the last episode or 2 episodes ago that we actually aired. I got an enormous amount of outpouring going. I've been wondering why you haven't posted on Wednesdays for a week or two. I totally their support was just amazing, right? But I mean, these people were literally waiting on Wednesdays for the new episode to drop because we had them trained every Wednesday, and then it wasn't there.
Yep.
So to your point, right? I owed it to the audience to tell them why it wasn't there.
Dude, we will have Miss Tracy, correct?
Yep.
Miss Tracy in our prayers, with our family prayers every night. That's near and dear to my heart. My grandmother who raised me, lost her too. That's how it started and ended up a couple of different routes. But no, I got my dad. I'm originally from Canada and I immigrated in 2001. And my dad got him through colon cancer over the last through COVID. I'm like his only support person. He's actually from the UK. So I'm very eclectic individual. But anyways, man, sympathize. And you guys will 100% be in our prayers.
I appreciate that.
No, man, that's a different walk. But circling back to your point, weekly is everything. And that's what, I told these guys, I'm like, can we just do it every other week? It's hard grinding the guests. And, they've done a great job about bringing some guests, but I want to be excited when I jump on these calls. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure it's a guest that we can appreciate and the audience can appreciate and learn from. And now that it's really starting to gain some traction every single Wednesday, I mean, we haven't, or we'll put together like a scrambler, you know what I mean? If I don't have a guest, but that's been very few and far between. But you're right. It's the consistency, but that's so cool that your audience came running, man, and showed you some love during this time. It's
some of the guys that I've developed friendships with over the years, whether it be from just selling them attachments or if I did consulting with them, they have access to me directly. And my phone started getting text messages and phone calls by 8:30 in the morning, the day that first episode dropped after that little bit of a gap. And I'm like, today's going to be a very difficult day to get any work done because I'm going to be, thank you.
That's amazing though, man.
It is.
It's because you've helped them so many different ways, over the years. And now they feel like it's their time to be able to help you.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Sy, but I think the coolest and the strangest part about being a host of a YouTube channel or a podcast is that when you finally talk to somebody who's been consuming your content, you're trying to figure out who they are and learn a little about them. And they're talking to you like you're having drinks at a bar for the 17th week in a row. And I'm like, it's a weird feeling at first. And I've gotten kind of acclimated to it now, but I'm like, cool. Let's get me caught up to speed now so that we're on the same page.
Literally, where are you at in my content so I can know what emotional state I was in? Because I may be in a completely different point in my life. And anyhow, my dude, that is so on point. It was Sunday. I had a gentleman coming through town. I met him at an event sometime last year. This gentleman's been in business since 2001. And I can't tell you Ryan, that I've got it all figured out, my dude. I don't. I don't have anything figured out, but I do have a lot of experience in doing a lot of things wrong and paying for it to, 180 to get it to where it's right. And, it may be through my experience and helping these guys, but, this guy's done the same thing for 15, 20 years. Like, why is he going to listen to me? And maybe it is just from my True Blue experience, but the dude stopped by my shop, asked, Sunday I'm coming through town. I'd love to, haven't seen you. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm 5 minutes from the shop. I'll swing down, just talked about a few pipe jobs that he's bidding. And I try to pour back into, I don't care, if it's a younger guy, older guy, whatever, but a lot of people, of course, with the hate, it's, he's trying to be braggadocious. I'm just not that guy, man. The good Lord humbled me a couple years ago. When I figured it out, it wasn't all about me, man. Things started going a lot differently. You know what I mean? And when I
figured out people were projecting their insecurities, I quit caring about the comments.
Dude, I feel you, truly.
Like really, if someone's being hateful, negative, or like, oh, you're just trying to up your ego, it's they're insecure somewhere in their life. The best saying I ever learned is that nobody wants to fail in life, right? In anything.
Right.
Everybody's doing the best they can with the operating system that they have installed. So based on their life experiences, their education, whatever, like they're doing the best they can with their operating system. And I have to be grateful and have that grace to be like, okay, we're not on the same level. So I get you're angry about something, but I doubt it's actually me. It's probably a parent, a kid, like who knows? I just say, cool. Like I'm not going to engage in it.
Yeah, I'm at that point as well. like literally, my dude. Have we already started?
I just determined that I'm going to just do the ad roll and all that separate from the record.
Okay, sorry. I just didn't want to cut off.
No, you started talking about your equipment and your start. And I'm like, I've been wanting to change how I kind of do this. It's a great time to do it. So
okay, well, I just didn't want to interrupt your flow. I'm we started.
This is my flow, so we just missed 2 minutes. We'll go back and rip that 2 minutes out later. So
sorry, brother. I just wanted to make sure I was doing you justice. I'm sitting here trying to maybe hold back a little bit. I'm like, did we start? Did we not start?
No,
if we started, I'm gonna let it roll.
I'm like super engaged, and I'm like, I don't want to break it. So
okay, cool, love it.
Yeah. Now we broke it by talking about not breaking it.
I'm
good cadence. It's such good cadence and rhythm. Real world right there, right? Shit changes.
It really is, man. Game respects game. And when you've been in it, I can strike up with, and you probably can too, sir. If you've been successful at any type of business, you can talk to a wall if you absolutely have to. But when you enjoy the conversation, it's like, this homies understands where I'm coming from. You are on my own level, and I start engaging a lot differently than I would if, you kind of are there or not. But at the same time, wanting to reach down and help that guy instead of going, oh, look at this guy. When I turn around, I'm like, hey, man, look, this is where you're at. But if you want to go to here, this is what you got to do. I know you're telling me you want to do all of this, but I am telling you I have done that. Don't do that.
What's an example of that like would maybe resonate with the people out there listening?
Don't buy a dump truck.
You and I cut from the same cloth. I'm like, the only reason you buy a dump truck is if it's built into your specific business needs, because like your plant's 3 hours away, or you can use it to haul a skid steer in it. But if you ever buy a dump truck with the thought, I can also rent it out for other work, don't do it.
And so we, circling back a little bit, we did a lot of pipe work, and that's kind of how we entered into the commercial game. I actually got my start at the municipalities, chasing water main breaks, climbing in and out of manholes, pulling sewer plugs, and taking care of a treatment plant. And so from there, I ran into contractors, and I was like, oh, man, they're having fun. They're laying line every day in these, and not just a little bit of line, a couple 100 feet. I mean, these guys out there having the time of their lives. I'm like, dude, that actually looks halfway fun. Like, okay, big equipment. And so I kind of just put two and two together, and I finally, and I remember the day. Basically, I figured out that contractors make a lot more money on, employee wise, municipality water worker compared to a guy that's out there turning 50, 60 hours a week. Yeah, there's a big difference. But the city guy over here has great benefits. If he may have a totally goal and different vision in life than, these contractor guys. Most of these guys jump over there. Yeah, there's guys that'll be a track hand for 30 years. God bless you guys. Like, we can't do it without you, and be really good at that. But at the same time, I knew I wanted a little bit more out of life than what that municipality was basically given me. And I worked for a couple of different contractors before I did my own thing. And man, it really wasn't necessarily about the money. It was more or less as I really liked the job, but I really didn't like how I got treated over and over again. There were some places that I loved, don't get me wrong, but just overall, it was such a seesaw. Like, it was great here, terrible here. It was never just, right in the middle. Kind of splitting the seas and where I could deal with it. And so I didn't stick around a whole lot of places long, a year, 6 months, because something always came up. And so I ended up running, there was 20 guys, 10 or 12 pieces of equipment all across this county for a local entity for a good buddy of mine. And then from there, I was just like, man, if I'm actually tangibly doing all of this every day, why am I not doing this for myself? Well, I can list the reasons now why I shouldn't have done what I did. But at the same time, I was 22, man. I was full of piss and vinegar, and I wanted everything out of life. And I thought I knew absolutely everything. I can't say that. I mean, I knew I was going to have a lot of learning curves and challenges, but at the same time, I just went for it. There was a quote, I think it's Reid Hoffman, is being an entrepreneur is jumping off a cliff while building the airplane, but sometimes you still have to pause and check your wings. And I fully jumped off a cliff, and every little stage or endeavor along the way, full send. And I'll get back to the dump truck statement. We did a bunch of resi work for 2 or 3 years, finally landed onto some consistent pipe game where I wasn't carrying a bunch of materials. And from there, got on to every single commercial job through this specific subcontractor route. And then, of course, GCs were like, hey, can you backfill around curb? I got a scope gap here. Hey, we put these irrigation sleeves in. Well, then you start doing actual good work for these GC supers. And then they go back to the office and they're, hey, man, tell the other PMs, this guy's great for, scope gaps. And it really started to grow. And then all of a sudden, hey, can you do the entire utility package? Okay, yeah. Well, then it turned into all the way to about 3 years ago, man, the market got to where you couldn't just send a pipe in and get any feedback. It got so comfortable around here that basically if you didn't encompass the entire project and subcontract everything civilly, you weren't even going to get a call back or an email back or anything. And so I thought, okay, let's go start dirt operations. So I went and bought an iMachine, Komatsu, the TopCon stuff, and then I went and bought 5 dump trucks. Like I said, when I say I jump off cliffs, buddy, I choose the Grand Canyon heights every single time. And man, I had the people in place to run these dump trucks. The one guy, he knew the dump truck world very well. Was only here for about 3 days and then turned around and walked right out because no harm, no foul. It definitely hurt what I'm fixing to talk about on dump trucks. But with that being said, he looked at me and was very honest. He's like, man, I've been running my own truck for 10 plus years. I don't want to deal with the stress and chaos and the drivers and everything it's going to take to get this going. And I'm like, oh man. And we'd been talking about it for 4 or 5 months. It's not like we just whimmed it up. And that was a real big punch. So I tried to figure out how to land dirt jobs, which is a whole new endeavor attached to our utility jobs while trying to keep these trucks busy because we weren't landing enough dirt while we were figuring out the market. And it was just a recipe for disaster. But then You buy an older dump truck that you think is, serviceable payment wise, you're just going to get absolutely wrecked with repairs and maintenance. And then you multiply that by 4. And as COVID was coming through, I know I'm kind of going off on a rant here, but truck drivers, when I, let's say 7-8 years ago, it was a $20 an hour, $19 an hour. You were topped out as a truck driver. Now it's $25, $26 an hour. And I get it. Costs have completely quadrupled in many areas, and that conversation can be had. But when that dump truck driver is standing there at $25, $26 an hour while his truck's getting worked on for the 8th time that week, it really starts to cause an issue. And anyways, I literally have ran dirt ops and 3 utility crews at the same time with never owning a dump truck. We had one truck that sat at the yard, actually sat on a job for like 5 months. It never moved. We used some on-site stuff with it, but it really showed me that I can get by without a truck, without a driver, without any of that.
And Sy, it really comes down to that mindset of, we think we need that dump truck. So 1, we can have control of it, and 2, we can reduce the cost. And I keep reminding guys about this. I'm like, well, how hard is it to find like the independent owner operators? Like, well, they're all over the place. I'm like, why aren't you just using them? Well, they're expensive. I'm like, but you're building it into your bid. It's not coming out of if you bid this properly and your hard costs, your overhead numbers, your profit margins, it's not a fucking issue.
Yeah, dude. But that's the issue right there. That's so many guys, including myself. And as it expands, you're still trying to figure out what the main thing was on your hard costs. Like the amount of people that need to just take a second and figure out your true cost. Well, how do you do that? Well, you got to start documenting what you're doing out there in the field against the estimate and job costing and costing everything to the job that you can directly. But you also need to have an indirect and overhead percentage. I know I'm going off on a little bit of a spiel, but you're right, dude. They don't have a clue, and neither did I. It took me reaching out to people and going, man, why am I all over the place? Why can't, well, let me see an estimate. And it's just a number. And well, how'd you get there? Well, I know my gravel's here and my pipe's here, and I just kind of threw a number of labor and equipment. Well, what equipment are you going to have there? And I'm like, they started asking some real simple questions that I couldn't answer. And that was embarrassing. So then really had to start getting to know our costs so that way we could get skinny when the skinny times do hit. But at the same time, when we go back through that other wave, we can absolutely understand that we are making money, time to put some away or put some here or do whatever for the next venture or for that next downtime. But they don't have that mindset, like bid it into your job. If you're going to have 50 loads a haul off, figure out with your dump truck, man, is it $150 a load? Is it $200 a load? Put that haul off number right in your bid. You've got to pay him that, right? And it's much cheaper. You cannot run a truck for $100 to $110 an hour. It is extremely hard to make any money keeping a dump truck busy at that rate. Now, some of these guys up in the north, they're going to go, well, Sy, we make $155, we make $160, and that's great. Your cost of living is probably a little bit higher too. But at the same time, there's going to be an independent owner operator. There's going to be people at whatever supply quarry, asphalt plant. There's going to be somebody to be able to deliver that material to you. And yeah, the thought process is, I can control that truck. I can tell him what's going to happen when he has a flat tire, and you're going to have to end up calling the supply house, quarry, whatever it is, to haul it to you anyways. We're going to do that.
I always equate it to, because they use trucks every day or weekly or whatever for the projects, they feel like, that's part of the construction excavation business. I'm like, it's not. It's logistics and hauling. So these guys get into trucking, and I'm like, well, that's like a football player saying, I'm going to go do baseball too.
You're not wrong, dude. You're literally
like logistics
not wrong.
is an animal.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. And when COVID hit, we actually opened up. So we've had our own lowboy for some years to move our bigger gear and I've been a CDL holder since I was 19. Used to, on the weekends, drive a little truck to make a little extra money. And long story short, when COVID hit and materials got so bad, all I kept hearing was, well, we can't get it to the store. It's not a big enough order. Or, hey, that's backlogged. Or so I started calling manufacturers. I'm like, where's it going? How much can I have? And really tried to wheel and deal. And I figured out a kind of distribution loophole. They were sending the kind of pipe that we need to a different part of the country that it was just going to sit. Worked through that distribution guy, and I went up there and trucked it myself back down into our market because I was a little guy, man. I was just barely out into the utility game, but now I had some really nice looking contracts that I figured I was going to make some money on, but I had to go procure the pipe pre-contract. How dumb was that? And then, so but if I didn't, I wouldn't have had no pipe delay. And so,
go ahead. But that's a calculated risk because you were in the pipe game. You're dealing with those contractors every day. And if you can't get pipe, how many other guys can't get pipe? And if I have the pipe, price becomes a lot less important.
And that was my thought. But where I was going with that in the logistics battle, dude, is I was like, oh, well, we'll just keep this driver on, this dump truck driver, as we're selling these dump trucks. Let's just slide them in an OTR truck and we'll start making money that way. Oh my God, buddy. And we leased a truck. We didn't buy one. Oh, it was one of the biggest nightmares. And that was as the freight market was completely crashing too.
Yeah.
Terrible time to hop on the load board, but we nixed that pretty quick. But I had to do what I had to do to keep, the main vehicle alive.
Yeah, I've literally watched guys make millions of dollars a year in profit owning a logistics and shipping company to literally lose it all overnight. Blink 18 months later and they're back to making $1 million again. And I'm like, that's a roller coaster ride I want no part of.
The uncertainty of it is terrible. And there's so many, being an underground contractor's not super fun either when you start talking about variables that can swing things. But the logistics game, I figured that out really early. We do. The one thing I'm glad I did is when we did have those dump trucks, we started moving everything by pintle hitch. I know a lot of your audience, is skid steer, gooseneck, or, for early years, I was a bumper pull for 2 or 3 years, pulling my skid steer mini X around. And to get that weight off the truck when you aren't the driver and your machines are just showing up, if there's a way, if you do end up buying the dump truck or say you have the dump truck, if there's a way you can get a trailer, air brake trailer that is safe, weight rated behind that dump truck and get it off that pickup, I don't care if it is a 550 or not, it's just going to be a little bit safer going down the road. And so from there, we ended up getting into some decent size excavators, 210 up to a 360. And we wanted to be able to move our own gear because we were moving quite a lot. We were moving quickly. We weren't having these giant jobs as 24 kind of rounded out. And I would highly suggest if you're going to have a lowboy, make sure you've got the driver first. You can go buy a truck and a trailer if he's experienced. I've got an old retired Walmart driver that didn't know anything about equipment, but I went with him for 2 weeks on any haul that he had, kind of went through it all. And man, that has been an unbelievable godsend, but it sits a lot and people give me hell about it because here's the thing. We just talked about the freight market being absolutely smashed. I can call somebody and get my 360, an 85,000 pound hoe moved, between a county to county for less than $1,000. I'm not putting that on a truck that I own for less than $1,000. I think that's crazy. It's a lot of weight going to permits alone. And I'm just kind of scratching my head. So a lot of people are like, well, hey man, dealers, hey man, why don't you start hauling for us? Because as soon as I go haul for you, the time that I need to move my machine, that truck's going to be down trying to make $800 or truly $150 that day,
So Sy, this might help you, and I know it's going to help you guys out in the field, but whether it's be trucking, hauling, or if you're doing dirt work and you're thinking about septics, or it doesn't matter, right? If you're looking at expansion, scope, markets, I've got a process where I just go through it. I'm like, is this a true opportunity or is it a distraction? Because like hauling sounds like a great opportunity, but when you look at the time commitment and if it breaks down and then the customer management and then you're still running your 3 crews for the pipe work, I'm like, it's actually a distraction from what your core business is.
Literally, I think if these guys, I had a single axle dump truck that this will tell you. There's a bed maker here in, it used to be, and actually went out of business in the last couple of years. Davis Bed here in Little Rock. They built a ton of dump truck beds across the country. And one of our first trucks back when we were trying to get out of that pickup game, I was like, let's just go find us a single axle that we can, haul about 9-10 yards. And I put a plate on the back of that thing for a ball hitch, a pintle hitch, air brakes, or electric. And dude, that little truck, you want to talk about utility digging, a little bit of waste out of the road. Man, that single axle truck, if I still had that thing today, I think that thing would have made us more money than any tri-axle, quad axle truck I had. And then from there, I went into a Mack, our model Mack tri-axle with 350 in her. That's so famous for going up and down the road, and she didn't cost us hardly any money. I had to have a Peterbilt. I made a deal with the guy that drove the Mack for 2 years, and I said, hey, man, look, you drive that Mack, she ain't the prettiest, I'll go buy you a Peterbilt. And I decided to go buy 4 at one time like an absolute idiot. But no, man, the dump truck game is not for me.
Yeah. No, and you hear that. I mean, again, like I said, replace dump truck with XYZ service, and you hear it all across the industry where, and for me, I think it's partly like that boredom, right? Like it takes discipline to be just a septic guy because it's the same job every day. It's like going to the factory and putting on the tires on the frame as it comes down the line, right? Like same grade, same leach field, same hole, same pipe. Yeah, but that's why they're so good at it. That's why they can do a septic start to finish in 9 hours, not 3 days. And they don't go look for land clearing jobs or site prep work or driveway repair. Like they're like, no, we're septic. It's tough to make that commitment though.
Keep the main thing. And I've done the roller coaster up, like we were talking about earlier. I've gone all the way up, man, and had a ton of people in the office, all the different managers, but had all the crews, revenue and a bunch of money, but profit wasn't there because I didn't have inside accounting locked up and proper reporting coming every single month. I didn't have production rates set out for these guys built off the estimate, so there was no way to track them while they were out there. So it was just chaos upon chaos upon chaos. And you don't know what you don't know. Like we went from mini X and skid steer 7 years, and here we are trying, and everybody's looking at you. Hey man, like, what are we doing? And I'm like, I'm trying. Let me, a little bit of time here, a little bit of time here, a little bit of time here. But when I found that pipe game and we were just repeating it, it's like we get in this trap of, we don't know what else to do. Let's go create something else to do. When right. In all honesty, that's the perfect time when your business is going, hey, you're not directly needed in it. Hey, why don't you take the time and work on it for just a minute, build you a beautiful, nice foundation that this in the business can keep growing, add a little bit here, chase profitability, not revenue. And man, it's so easy to go down there and sign up for a dozer and a Traco and bid work at nothing and have hundreds of thousands of dollars of trucks coming in and out and throw it on social media and look like you're doing great. Like it's not hard. Like, but to actually do it, make money, have great culture, have great communication, and job costs the whole way through is extremely freaking hard.
Very
on
difficult.
Your operation side and your admin side. And I would encourage you guys when you start to get in that weird, because we've all been there, like, oh, things are going okay. Like, what am I supposed to do? And you're not supposed to go play golf. You're not supposed to go fishing. And so you're like, oh, I'll go add dirt operations, or I'll go do this, or I'll go do that. This will just bolt right on and we can just roll. But you're not even thinking about the legal of it. You're not thinking about the taxation of it. You're not thinking about all of the administrative things that is now going to either amplify or conclude things on this other piece. And like, you haven't even fixed those yet. Now you're stacking crap on top of crap. And I've been there, dude. And you want to talk about a moment, you never get a peaceful moment because the thing is, you just don't know what you don't know. And until you start reaching out to resources, like your show, and start listening to some of these guys and go, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do when I feel like this. So who does business development? I don't know. Hop on LinkedIn, type in civil business development. There'll be 15 guys that show up. You know what I mean? And it's out there now. Go talk to somebody. It's okay to ask for freaking help. You don't know what you're doing. You didn't just wake up and be a CEO. And I know all your guys are expecting you to be a CEO, but humble yourself a little bit would be my encouraging word to that, and go look for the right answers and start working on the business as soon as you elevate out of in.
I found that your guys are looking at you to be a leader. And that leader is way different than like a CEO, right? Like culture starts with you. So how you respond and react to issues. If you lose your cool and you're throwing things and you're cussing, that's not building a good culture, right? But so they're looking at you for leadership, and they're not looking at you for perfection. And I think that's the big problem a lot of business owners have, is they're afraid to show the chinks in the armor. And like the guys, if you show them that you have those little chinks in the armor, like, hey, I don't know how this didn't work this way. I'm going to go find a guy to like learn from. They're actually going to respect you more because, one, you're vulnerable, you're open, like you're real, you're relatable.
Yeah.
Right.
Visibility.
We all know nobody's perfect, right? Yeah.
No, I think that's such a good point. Perfection versus leadership. You're right. We have a feeling like they're weighing. We as entrepreneurs and as the top, we think, oh, they're weighing on us to make sure we make the right decision every single time. And you just have this stress upon you. But really and honestly, you're right. They're just looking for a leader, and how a leader acts is sometimes, man, I don't know. Let me go find out. Like, it's the same way in construction. We run into a new civil problem and we're like, have you ever dealt with this? Well, it's been 10 years. No, I ain't never seen this. It's been 10 years here. I've never seen this. Let's go ask the engineer. Like, we do the same thing in that realm. Why would we not do that with our business?
Yeah. Yeah. And Brene Brown, she had the quote, and I might miss it by a word or two here, but she basically says, you cannot walk to confidence without first passing through vulnerability. Like, you look at people that you respect and you're like, wow, this guy's awesome, right? If you go back and look at their journey, there's going to be open areas of their life that, like, they're being super vulnerable. Like, they're not hiding the bad. They're not hiding and like, that's that vulnerability to reach that higher end. You cannot get there without it.
And transparency and visibility is everything too. When you're speaking about your guys and we're talking about leadership and, just the business as a whole, you've got 5 or 6 teams. They want to know if they're doing the company well. They want to know. There's some of them that it doesn't matter. You can just feed them pipe and they'll go lay pipe and they're there. But these guys that are wanting to elevate themselves, elevate the company, elevate you, like, they want to know. It's your duty and your due diligence to figure out how to get your inside accounting figured out so that you can be transparent and visible, and then watch what it does for your numbers. Because when they get all on the same page, I've done it for years where PM's over here, I got these 3 crews over here, I'm over here, dirt guys. I mean, we're just completely spread out. But takes time, guys. I will tell you, once you build the wrong culture, start changing that shit, but everybody will respect you for it. No doubt about. They're like, oh, okay, he's not just boss man. He's leading us down the right path. Yeah, exactly. Don't be about it, man. And I've lived through it here in the last little bit. It's hard. It's embarrassing. It's shameful. It's painful. But the guys that you got are either worth it or they're not. And if they are, you sit there and you freaking take that CPA tongue lashing, or you take, the bonding guy or whatever may be happening that day, but it's worth it. They're chiseling you because they all at least they care enough to sit in a room and tell you what you're doing wrong. I just wish I had that more in the first 5 or 6 years, because I needed people to challenge me and go, no, that's not what you think it is, buddy. I wish I had those people.
Yeah. You feel that sting? That's your pride messing with you. Put it away.
Dude, pride before
and
the fall.
back to the employee part, like you were talking about getting them all on the same page, the guys that want to actually know. I can't tell you how many business owners are afraid to share past a certain point with their team. And, and I always tell them, like, listen, you've got to train them and coach them and get them to the point that they can go start their own business. Like, because that's what makes them great. But you got to treat them so damn good, they don't want to leave.
100%. Culture keeps them there. It's not their pay as many as we think it is.
And I don't know about you, Sy, but it took me many, many years to realize that not everybody's wired like me, and most people don't want to start a business. I thought it was normal.
I can relate to that so hard, dude, because we're sitting there and we're running scenarios through our heads all day, and we're like, oh, well, he's just going to go here, do this once I get him to this point, because I have been a victim to exactly what you're talking about, where, oh, let's have an admin folder and an ops folder because we don't need the ops to see what the admin's seeing, which is completely contradictory. We want them all on the same freaking page, talking about the same work, about the same job in the same way. And you're just compounding problems for yourself when you're like not really hiding anything, but just not wanting to share. And once you build that visibility and you have from the estimator full circle through a project, through all the way through accounting and back to the estimator to find out if he actually bid the job right, it is such a game changer, man, to you as an entrepreneur. Like, it's like the weight is off of you at that point. And there's a lot of people sitting there going, well, I'm kind of stuck in the same rut. Well, what are you doing to change it? Start asking people that, there's so many different folks out there. Ryan's a great resource. Like, the show's a great resource. Just start plugging in and doing things different to get different results.
And you're right. And I think a lot of people don't make that step because it's the fear of the unknown, and they're not sure what that step should be. So instead of taking any step, they stand still.
I have a saying. The listeners on my show have heard it plenty of full times. Don't just stand in the middle of the road. I tell my guys all the time, please just make a decision. I don't care if it's the wrong lane. You're only going to get run over one way. At least you're not getting run over both ways. Just make a decision. I'm the guy that's going to come here and ultimately have to take whatever responsibility for your decision making. Make the decision. I'll show up. I'll stand beside it. And we will absolutely get this taken care of. If you're in the wrong, I'm going to stand there and go, hey, guys, we were in the wrong. I need you to just take a breath. We're going to figure this out. Here's our solution. It's not about mistakes you make. It's how you handle them.
Yeah. I take it one step farther with our team members, and I'm like, you have the autonomy to make decisions within this realm. But if you make a decision and it's wrong, I'm going to ask you, what was your thought process behind the decision? Because if you're making blind decisions, that's a problem. But if you had a thought process where you were truly doing what you thought was the best decision, I'm never going to be mad at you, because now it's a coaching, learning opportunity.
Literally, another thing I say is a lot of times is, hey, man, if you don't know, that's my fault. I did something wrong. I ain't got a training program. I ain't got it in the training videos, or we haven't encountered this situation. It is what it is. Bygones are bygones, and we move on. Now, the situation's much different if we have come across this whatever scenario and leading to whatever outcome, and we have ran down the channels of thought and we have made a decision before and it led us to an outcome. If you didn't choose to creatively think through that process, probably going to be a little bit more upset. And I'll tell on myself, we've hit two things all year, and yesterday happened to be one of them, being a gas main and just absolutely smoked this gas main. And we had a water main earlier this year, same crew. And so other than that, that's about all we've hit. And so I walked out there, and as soon as I walked up, the way they dug it didn't make any sense to me. And so I didn't just rush over there, throw them a hard hat, get all pissed, because they're already beating themselves up. Gas is screaming in the air. They're trying to just, do their jobs. And so I go to their PM and Jesus, and I sit there and I go, hey man, what could we have done different here? Because this doesn't even make any sense currently. Like, I'm so sorry. I don't understand why you dug into a utility when, the spoil was in your way. So he didn't want to move the spoil. We wanted to go a little bit faster. Okay, well, that doesn't negate the fact that we hit the gas main and doing it ignorantly. Like, we've got to talk about this. And I cut the piece of pipe out, and we're going to be talking about it on Monday. But it's all about your response to mistakes. I know that crew knows better. I absolutely know. And we're going to talk about it as a company, as a whole on Monday. And it may be embarrassing. It may be tough to talk about. But you know what? We're going to get better from it. And every single time something like this comes up, we're not just going to run up, chew the guy out, and roll on. Well, I showed him. No, the whole team needs to be held accountable for this. Like, this isn't how we operate. Who's allowing this standard to be set? Hey, guys, other crews, tell me what you guys would have done differently. And if we can't all agree to it, then we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? There is a solution moving forward that we have to come to agreements to.
And as a leader, if you can't recognize when an employee is beating himself up or not, that's a problem. Because if your reaction's so strong that you need to yell, cuss, and scream while that guy's already beating himself up, guess what you just lost? You lost him embedding the issue and fixing it. Like, I'm never doing that away again, because now he's just going to switch his thought process to, God, he's such a jerk. Yeah. And the learning moment's gone.
It's not about what you say. It's not about what you do. It's how you make people feel. Mm-hmm. And, I tell especially supers that have been trying to move up or foreman into that super role, look, man, you don't just get to be direct with people. It's all about the delivery and what you're saying. Again, I totally get it. I'm not asking you to repeat the same thing to the same guy 3 times in a day. I'm not asking that. There should be something different going on. But if there is a situation that arises, you need to be worried about how you're going to deliver that message. I know how silly that sounds, but most of the people that are listening to this podcast right now can remember their T-ball coach at 5 or 6 when they either hit a home run or they struck out, and they know that feeling, whether it was good or bad. Like, they don't remember his name, they don't remember his face, but they remember how they were made to be, how they felt when they hit that first run to first base. And it's all about that with leadership with your guys, and down and back. And, oh man, I've screwed it up over the years and gone back and apologized. But hey, man, I'm learning too, guys. I'm learning to be a leader, but I've always tried to show grace. And a lot of times other people on the team members look at me and go, why are you showing this guy grace right now? Well, we've been working behind the scenes on this and his career roadmap, and he's been showing improvement here, and they don't get it sometimes. They're like, dude, just can him. Like, we're tired of this guy. Get rid of. Well, he's been here 5 years, and he does have some loyalty to us, and maybe we can work through this and give them always the benefit of the doubt and grace. And that's where I think a lot of times we screw up as entrepreneurs, that we don't cut the cord a little sooner, and even we're listening to our feelings more than our mind and paper. You know what I mean? So there is a real extreme fine line there, and I have been known to walk it.
We just recently had to let go of our ops manager, and it was the same thing. Like, she's been going, a lot of stuff in personal life for all of us. Like, we brought her on board, and boom, my partner's mother-in-law had a heart attack, and his father's on dialysis, father-in-law. So they're filling in that. Tracy got diagnosed with cancer. Her grandpa died. So we tried to do a regroup session, and I just didn't see enough improvement in like a 2-week period. And I looked at Clay, and I'm like, I tell these guys all the time, hire slow, train fast, and fire even faster. And I'm like, I feel like this is my moment to go, we got to do it. Like, I wanted to drag it out because nobody likes to feel bad. Like,
No, man.
like you
No
hate
one
doing
wants
that. But at the same point, what does the business need? If you're going to treat it like a separate entity and you're just a steward of the business, then you have to put the business interests ahead of your emotions.
It's so hard, man. It's easy to say, but it is truly so hard. And
Yeah.
it's all about understanding the value of doing it wrong too. You may not know what the right decision is all the time, but you know what the wrong one is, and let that guide you. And of course, talk about it with mentors. And business decisions are just so hard to make in general, and we're always beating ourselves up. No matter what direction or decision we choose, we're always going to beat ourselves up for not going the other way in some way or parameter. And I think that's just nature of the beast. But you have to lean on that network and the people that surround you. It's so important for guys, and it's lonely up at the top. And
Super lonely.
You push people away a lot of times, and you don't even realize that you're doing it. You're just over here grinding, and you're at a totally different level than they are in life. And you thought, oh, we were still just going to be friends. And by God, I want to be your friend, but I'm sorry that I've got to tell you for the sixth time in a row that I can't make it there because I got this or that, or I got work, or I got kids, and life goes on. But when you're chasing this entrepreneurial dream, man, it is it's lonely, and you've got to surround yourselves with good people, with good resources that are pouring into your cup, even in the dark times where you're sitting there going, I might as well just give this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's it's a shame, especially us. I mean, I'm a little bit older. I mean, obviously you've got 3 kids. You're not a young buck. You're in your 30s. But I don't remember growing up being taught it's okay to ask for help. I remember growing up saying, "Figure it out, figure it out, figure it out."
No, dude, the blue collar stigma, like I don't understand why. I don't understand why we're so hard on ourselves to learn something new. Like we're expected, men in general, honest to God. I grew up a lot of the same way. I was raised by my grandfather at home, and I was expected to know a lot of things that I had no clue about. And hell, I couldn't barely understand him. So either way, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. And when you get out there, you don't want to look dumb, but we dang sure don't want to ask for help. But at the same time, that's where, I'll speak on me again, is like we've started, through this YouTube stuff, I've really started to think about video in a totally different realm. Like we've got 10 or 12, I think it is, just very basic introduction level videos to what Sycon is, what we represent, how we do our PPE, what do we do around machines, trench shoring, all this stuff. Hey, don't get in a hole because you think you're trying to help and you get yourself in a situation that we never wanted you to be in to begin with. But if we didn't tell you about it, how can we expect you to know? And so we're trying to train faster than ever and make sure that we are holding people accountable to that training. Not, hey, we want you here in a year. It's the touch-ups, it's the meetups. And I think it's big to those people that actually care and want to be better. Like they yearn for that. They cannot wait to hear boss men go, man, dude, I'm so proud about how you freaking handled that job. You probably don't even know this, and I've been going 85 mile an hour, but man, how you handled the rock change order and your measurements and your documentation, dude, you just knocked that out of the park and made it so easy to get that pay app out. It wasn't a fight. We didn't have to go back and forth or whatever it may be. So, anyways, my dude, it's things like that I've had to learn over the years, that people long for that accountability and that structure. There's people that you can't keep them here. You think they're going to be a stud, and then once you get them here, they're just looking at you like, I can't get anything done because everything's just chaos. And every time I take a step, I'm taking a step on myself, and I can't work like this, man. And you lose good people, and you're like, man, I thought he was going to be here forever. Well, he was, if you were to, pick up your sword and make sure he's got a structured system to follow to be successful.
And I will tell you this, and I think this is an expansion of that because I've dealt with this with a lot of business owners. Those guys hire that rock star. They go, man, he's going to be here forever. The subconscious thought they don't verbally speak is they think he's going to build the process for them.
Dude, I can admit I was the exact same way. I'm like, why isn't he building something? Like I've sat there and I had a great project manager. He's with me almost 6 years and worked his way up from our second crew ever. He was unbelievable until he wasn't, because he needed me to build he didn't know how to vocalize it and verbalize it. He didn't know what he needed, but he knew what he was doing wasn't right either.
Right.
And it kept catching him in a trap. And eventually they're just going to get in that washing machine and go, no, I want out. I want to sit on some stable ground for a minute. This is all chaotic, which they would have swung the sword for you no matter what through the entire environment of however long that hurdle may be. But you've got to give them a way to succeed. And the other thing I want to add on to that, especially when you take field guys that have this direct sense of accomplishment every single day, that, okay, boys, we're going to lay 300 foot a day, and this is what we're going to do, and everybody slaps us on the back. When you promote that guy and he's over 5 or 6 crews trying to run, or 3 crews 300 foot a day, he never finds that direct sense of accomplishment, and he can get lost really easy if you don't have some type of structure for him to follow. And because we're wired that way. If we're pipe guys or dirt guys, hey, we've got to get this amount done in this amount of time to be profitable. And if they don't know that, they never can be profitable. So maybe work on that first. But if you're going to elevate that guy that's been with you 5 years, he crushes it in the field. He's always profitable. He's always under budget and under time, never needs that little extra tool or whatever. And then you raise him up, and then you're in 3 months looking at him going, who are you? Where did my guy go? Maybe it wasn't the right move, number one. Number two, find a way to work with him as you're easing him in 6 months to a year into this new position. Because if you just drop him in that position and there's nothing for him to follow, they will fail, they will get frustrated, and they will leave you.
Yeah. And, not to get too philosophical, religious, or spiritual, anything like that, really, but we've trained these guys for instant gratification. And in the real world, the way to be successful in any endeavor is to have delayed gratification, right? Like, you're not investing today expecting to be a millionaire tomorrow in the market. That, it's a 30-year long play, right? Delayed gratification. Same with this business, like instant gratification, 8, 12-hour day, boom, 300 feet, crushed it. PM job, you're now, like, if you're not working 30, 45, 90, 100 days in advance, you're not running a business. You're just in true chaos mode, right? So now you have to have that 100-day delayed gratification, and maybe even 150, because you got to bring all the reports and all the numbers and make sure even when the job's done. And it's like, if you're not wired for that, you got to retrain your brain.
It's rough, dude. It really is.
And like what Jesus, like they talked about in the Bible, I think it was like King Solomon, right? Like, you gotta fall in love. Like, what is, I don't remember the exact wording, but like the toil in the process, or he didn't say process, different word, but basically it's fall in love with the process, because that's the only thing you can control, the outcome.
I think as entrepreneurs, we get caught up in where we're going so much.
Dude, we move the goalposts so fast, we never look back to see where we came from.
Literally. And if you want a Bible reference, a lot of these businesses think they're going straight to the promised land, but forget that they hung out in 40 years of desert before they got there. And it can get rough. And if you're not following the right person's lead, or being the leader that you need for the people that are following you to be, man, you can hang out in that desert. A lot of meals are going to be rough, but you'll eventually get there. And we're working our way out of the desert right now and heading for that promised land, I hope. And a lot of the decisions have been hard to make, embarrassing, especially with as vulnerable and as public as I am with everything that we do within my business. And hell, everybody on YouTube or anywhere can make a comment or whatever. But like, business is hard. Don't beat yourself up. It's, as I say that, I'm probably the most hypercritical person.
We're always super critical of ourselves. Yeah, 100%, man.
Just don't beat yourself up too hard. Your network is your net worth. Really circle up with individuals that pour into you positively, and do not hang on to those negative relationships, those people that run around with a needle trying to put toxic in everything that you've got. Find them, get rid of them, and keep on trucking.
And Sy, I don't know if this is, for you and for the audience, for everyone else, but one of the things I started doing a couple of years ago was that when I have those really lonely days where I feel like I'm just defeated because I made the wrong choice, and I got to tell people, like, I always pull up and read Roosevelt's Man in the Arena and remind myself that I'm the guy in the middle of the arena, marred, covered in blood, and I'm not the critic who's never touched the field.
That's right. That's good, brother. That's really good because, we sit here.
You'll never find another business owner that's like, you're an idiot. He's going to be like, hey, we've all had mistakes. It's the people that aren't in the arena. It's the people that aren't in the arena that are going to judge you. It's
the people that never try.
Yeah.
And, failure comes from trying. Failure comes from effort. Success comes for the same exact thing. And a lot of these guys that have had unbelievable success didn't shine as much of light on their 7 or 8 failures to get to their success. And there's a lot that are nowadays as generations are changing. But you can talk about some great names that failed miserably. But guess what? They got up and they tried every single dang day.
They're great names because they didn't quit.
That's right, man. You just can't give up on yourself, your team, and I know it gets bleak, and especially this year, man. After the election and the tariffs and the interest rates, it's really gotten, especially in the commercial and land development lane, it's scattered, and a lot of guys that wanted to get up into the commercial game and are just finding out are, maybe get into some of that first light commercial game, and they're finding out the hard way that, maybe this wasn't the time to jump in because GCs right now they'll use and abuse you right now because they get the market number and they're like, well, we can't make the job work. Well, this dirt guy, and it happens in all trades, not just dirt and excavation, but if they can find that one percentage dropper and they can contract you up and nail you to the freaking wall and make you lose a ton of money through this thing, they will right now. They're hungry, just as hungry to land a job as we are. So be careful for that as you're making that jump from resi. And, this morning I was at a resi walkthrough, a big, long, quarter-mile long driveway. We're going to get back to some of that where our grassroots started, man. The money's cool. The money's great, but the smile and satisfaction of a customer at the end of a job where they're like, well, I kind of want to move this dirt here, there, and no plans, no nothing. You visionary it just literally, and you make it happen with your hands and pieces of equipment, and their smile after, and they're like, wow. In the commercial world, you're sitting there going, hey, man, we got all that done like we said we would, before the day. Okay, man, can you get this? Can you get that? It's always one more. It's never just a, hey, man, thank you. And we've got some unbelievable relationships in the land development and the commercial world that we have earned by making mistakes and honoring those mistakes. 50 to 1, one of the last things I'd probably say on here, man, 50 to 1 ratio. It's not about the 50 good jobs you do. It's about that one bad job you do and literally how you handle that one bad job, because they're going to talk about that one. That's the one they're going to associate with. It's usually the one that took you forever and everybody in town. It happens to be right on the highway and everybody's watching you struggle bust through this job. Like, dude, earn it. Get through that job. I promise you, people are going to respect you that you didn't even know were watching.
Yep. And a good reminder, too, is that not many people are actually watching. They're so self-consumed.
True. So true, man.
Like, don't look at the guy in the truck driving by on the interstate going, oh, he's laughing at me. He didn't even notice you. He's talking to his wife, his bike. Like, the people that matter the most that want to see you succeed are watching you, or like the super hyper critics. Which, if you have super hyper critics, good, means you're succeeding because they don't follow failure. But the average Joe's not watching you.
The first drone we brought out to at one of our utility digs, there was a different dirt contractor looking at me like, what are you doing? This was 2.5 years ago. Well, I'm just trying to get, a little bit of footage of our job. And we started putting together some pretty decent little edits. Shout out to Will. And Now you can, if you follow all our locals, about once a week in their stories, there's drone shots on every job, and they're really posting on social and pushing in the marketing. But I will tell you guys, when everything's going really, really good, that's when you start marketing. Don't wait till everything's at the bottom of the barrel. Oh, I've got to go do this. No, it takes time to really drive a good, solid foundation of a marketing campaign rather than just throwing a bunch of content out there to get a bunch of eyes. It takes time. Get a website done. Make sure your call to action back to that if you're really going to push into the marketing space. But I will tell you that sales gets a whole lot easier if you market. And, you said earlier, it's funny how, you put yourself out there just a little bit. There was a customer back in January, could have been one of our largest projects ever if it all shakes out. He came and met me in January. This guy has been following our YouTube channel.
Telling you.
Then going around town. We've got branded sill fans. It's bright orange, black Sycon. You can't miss it. So every job site that we're on, that we're on. And so he's been going around watching some of these intricate job sites, whether it be a dirt or a pipe job. And he came to me and he's like, here's a set of plans. Major development in a major part of town. We want you doing it. It's our personal place. There's not as many hands in the pot. You're our guy. And I'm like, they knew my dirt guy's name. They knew my pipe guy's name. They knew the people in the office who's going to be like, I'm sitting there going, who are you? And how do you know this much about me? Well, I'm putting it out there.
Right.
They got to just connect the dots. But man, to sit there with this gentleman, major developer in town, and go, you're our guy. That was mind blowing.
Yeah. So do you know Tom Gardocki, the Dirt Ninja?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Tom's
I don't know him, but yeah, of course. Longtime fan.
Loosely a friend of mine.
Got it.
I could call him and he'd call me back. So I think that's loosely friend. So I met him years ago. I actually sent him a grader to do reviews and make a video of it when I was running a manufacturing company. This was 10 years ago. It was before influencers were actually a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was talking to me. We were talking about his YouTube channel, and he said the same thing. He had a guy call him up that had been following him for 3 years and said, hey, I need you to build my road. It's a $750,000 job. And he's like, who else do you have bidding it? And he's like, no one. You're building it.
Yeah. Sales is easy when you market. And if it wasn't, back to your circle, a gentleman here that owns this wonderful studio I'm sitting in here, podcastvideos.com, solo studio today, and the gentleman that owns this place, he's a brilliant marketing mind, and especially with digital, way before it was cool to be in digital marketing 15 years ago, and he's exited out of that company by now. But man, what he was letting me know, it was perfect time, and the good Lord put him in my life at the most crucial point in time. I can't say it had anything to do with me, and we were just talking, and the way he looked at things through the marketing lens, I would have never, nobody, it's true experience. Like we were talking about at the start of the show, talking to these guys, have they lived it? Have they gone through the grueling struggles to get where they're at now? Well, he has, just in a totally different realm. And of course, been learning and mentoring off of him, or menteeing off of him as much as I can, and trying to ensure that, it's a space that really doesn't get a whole lot of shined light on it. But man, we need more guys in the pipe and dirt game, as many as we can get, because it's fixing to not be a cool thing to do,
Yeah.
So
see, I feel it's going the other way around. I feel like I'm watching kids graduate high school with zero interest in going to college.
Literally, the Gen Z movement into college is everything. When I was in school,
my friends' kids are graduating high school, and their parents are very well off in pharmaceutical and medical, not just a traditional job. And they're like, I'm going to be a plumber. And I'm like, where the hell did that, it's not even in your universe.
But they know they can make $135,000 a year.
That's exactly
in 4 years.
Yep.
Without no debt. And I preach about it on our show all the time, man. It's literally what I'm trying to bring awareness about. And I'm big in a local school here, Springdale School District's School of Innovation. They have a diesel program They can get their CDL at high school level. They have Caterpillar equipment with Trimble Earthworks on
Awesome.
it that they take them through, working through their GPS. And we've actually had 2 of them on the show that last year were graduating, and 100% placement in local communities. So literally the concrete company that supplies me here locally, they have drivers out of that program, 9 of them working right now a year later. And so there's not enough of that. And there wasn't enough of that, and not enough of that 15, 20 years ago. It was, where are you going to college? And I'm like, I'm not going to college. I hate school. I didn't have a problem with school. I got through school pretty easy. But I just knew, dude, like I wasn't going to go spend 20, 30, 40 grand a semester to figure out if I want to do this crap or not. I want to go make money now.
Yeah. My parents regret forcing me to go to college.
Yeah.
Because school came for me too, right? Like I was in advanced place classes in high school, never cracked open a book. Yeah. Like my mind just works a little bit different. I mean, I'm not like a genius by no means, but like I can grasp a concept super quick. Yeah. And at school, like I would get a D because my attendance and my grades would be like 92 to 98. And I'm like, well, obviously I don't need to be in your class, and that would never go over well. So I just turned it into working at a bar and having a lot of fun.
Yeah. I was in the work program my senior year, did 3 years of or 3 hours a day. And then I did various odd and ends job, but it took me a little while to figure out and get that municipality job. Went through 5 or 6 different industry types. But yeah, man, coming out of high school now, these guys can be 25 years old running 2 or 3 plumbing vans. Like the information is out there for them now more than it ever has, especially in the last 3 years. And we really do need them. Like as these old heads definitely phase out, and the boomers are about gone. Like the Gen Zs or the Gen Xers are fixing to go. Like we need these guys in the industry for service calls for homeowners. Like we're going to be in rough shape with electricians and plumbers, and don't even talk about utility guys. But I mean, it's few and far between. But
and it's that cross that's happening too, Sy. Like you're having a decrease in technicians and an increase in, what's the word I want to use for this? Like homeowners want simple. They want to do less.
Yep.
So you have an increase in demand and a decrease in technicians. And like, it's to the point now where, I mean, I had the guys come because I'll turn my sprinkler system on in the spring. I will not shut it down for the winter because my luck, I'll not blow the air right through it. And it's a $1,500 to $5,000 fix with the, I'm like, I'll just pay for it to have you come blow it out, do it right. And the guy came out and he's like $120. I'm like, that's it? Like, shit, I'm now part of that generation. Like I'll pay for convenience,
Yeah. He's a little cheap on his backflow prevention.
I thought it was going to be 300.
Yeah. I would figure 250 to 350 right in there. You have to have a license.
He was here for 15 minutes.
You bet. But if you got I think here in Arkansas, you have to have a backflow preventer's license. Like a lot of these landscapers will hire a plumber with a backflow license until they get that, and they'll charge them, $250, $300 a pop and make it.
This is actually the installation company. It's an irrigation company. And then they do the turn on and turn offs because they installed the system in the yard.
Yeah. But that's reoccurring revenue twice a year,
Genius. Once a year for me. I got that part figured out. But man, I could talk to you for 5 hours.
Dude, I'm usually my podcasts go a little long. I tell my guests, I'm like, hey man, normally I try to keep it 45 minutes to an hour, but any guest that I enjoy, it usually ends up hour 15, hour 30. And man, I'm pretty easy to talk to. I'll sit in here and talk to a dadgum wall.
Yeah.
But I think that's also helped get us to where we're at with the relationships and having the gift of gab and not being afraid to talk to anybody. Hey, you're the guy that I need to know. Hey, I'm Sy. I'm nobody. But if you ever need this or X, Y, and Z, that's my expertise. Let me know. And then all of a sudden, 2.5 years later, you get a freaking phone call from that guy you shook hands with. Hey, man, I kind of need you right now. Really? Okay. What do you need? Golf course not too far from here is on the LPGA tour, and they called us out of the blue. Hey, we know you do drainage work. We almost lost number 2 green and number 18 because of the drainage pipes are getting ate out from the chemicals that we put in the pond. And I'm like, so you need us to replace them? Absolutely. Can you make that happen? Sure. When would you like that to happen? It's just, it's crazy, man. It really is where this life can take you. I encourage all the guys that are listening, keep going. I know it's tough right now, and it's probably been tough on you guys this year. It's been tough on all of us. So don't think it's just you. It's been tough on all of us. And keep going. Just plan and strategize before you make a move, I think would be my biggest premise for today. And go ahead.
Yeah, and then be open to where Mother Nature takes you, because you'll never beat a hurricane. You'll never beat, like in real life, right? So, but like the universe and the world's happening, you could point your ship in the direction you want it to go. But if the wind starts blowing you a little bit, like don't turn the ship sideways and stall out because you're like, I'm getting back to the path I was on. Like, look at it. It's doing it for a reason. Be open, be perceptive, find out why it's putting you there, and move forward.
Set that ego aside and let business do its thing, and follow your numbers. Make sure inside accounting, you've got 30-day reporting coming back to you guys, so your project managers know where your projects are at, and so that way your estimator knows where to bid the next project at, so you can close that loop. And yeah,
and if you're the solopreneur or a team with 2-3 guys and you're wearing all those hats, like Sy, let's talk that, and we'll wrap up on this note.
Okay.
If you didn't have a whole office staff, like you talk about the reporting, you need the numbers, so the PM and the estimator. Like, I feel like as a business owner, if you're doing all that, like the accounting's probably getting pushed to the end of the list. Is it fair to assume that should be pushed to the top of the list?
100%. And I've got a solution for you. So like I shared with you, we had 8 people in the office in 23. Now it's me, my estimator, and 1 lady. We have leaned up very hard. And that's some by choice, some by force. But your accounting, if I was you guys, I would take, especially if you have your wife doing it. I'm telling you guys, those hard conversations need to be had, and she loves you and wants to protect you and doesn't necessarily want to tell you all the hard stuff on Friday night before it ruins her and her kiddos and family time weekend. There is fractional people out there, and I know a lot. This is like a brand new thing getting pushed, but it's really not. In the white collar space, you can go get a fractional HR person or a fractional bookkeeper or a fractional CFO or whatever. And I have a fractional bookkeeper, a fractional accountant, serves as a fractional CFO, and then they all answer to my CPA, my construction-based CPA, setting parameters and guidelines for them to follow, then to push me and go, hey, this is where you're at. This is where we're heading. What's going on? So, but I'm not having to carry a full-time person to be the bookkeeper. And guess what? I don't have to train them. I'm using an expert bookkeeper in construction. I would tell you guys, when you're dealing with accounting, anytime you're dealing with accounting, make sure they have an understanding of construction. Don't just pick the accountant down the road because mom and dad dealt with them a couple of times. They're online, QuickBooks online, Control Core online. They all have remote access. Miss Stacy's in Iowa. That is our bookkeeper lady. The CFO happens to be local, but it doesn't have to be. I have a fractional project manager that's helped me build the systems that a project manager is going to need to be successful while we're doing business. Like, these people are experts, specifically on the accounting piece. Let them be experts. Don't try and be an accountant. Go sell more pipe. Go sell more dirt. Go do more pipe. Go do more dirt. That's what you do. Don't try and learn as you're fumbling it and everybody's waiting for that accounting piece to literally, it's the tell-all be-all for all departments.
Yeah, you're telling the big story. I always hit this with a headline, and I think our audience probably misses it half the time. But I'm like, school failed us. Hey, you're really good at English. You need to spend more time on your math because it's lagging. So it's like math. And then you get into the business. You're like, oh man, I just need to double down on what I'm really good at and outsource the rest. And I say that sentence all the time, But I think as a business owner, if you've never been in those shoes, you're like, what do you mean by that? Right. And what you just described was like, go find a part-time bookkeeper, go find this, get the CPA to give them the guide rails. And now my comment makes a lot of sense to those guys going, that's what he means by outsource the rest. Like,
dude, literally, like so to have an in-house bookkeeper that and you're like, most business guys are sitting there, entrepreneurs are going, well, what if I can get this girl for $40K and then, there's not as much vacation there. Well, guess what? Those are your books that are telling you what is happening within your business. So instead of having a $40K or 50 or 60 or 70K employee handling your books like they should, you want to pay them what they're worth in order to get the results you're looking for, is where I was going with that. But instead of that, you may have a fractional bookkeeper who handles 10 different construction companies and may charge you $1,500 a month, equaling whatever that is, 3, 6, 12K, 15K a year. So there's an immediate savings, and you already have an expert who doesn't need to be taught. There is no training. They have an understanding of construction, so they have an understanding of how to display your books, and they know how to display it to the bonding guy, and they know how to display it to the bank, because half the time it's two different ones, cash and accrual. It's a different video, different day. But they have to have that understanding, or they're going to just mess up some relationships as you're just trying to do business and you're trusting them. And don't put it on a bookkeeper in-house, because then that bookkeeper, in my opinion, will want to have their hand in here and this say and that say. And then all of a sudden she's not doing much bookkeeping. She's doing 40% of everything else. And then the books are lagging again. So one lady can't do it all. My opinion would be, if I could have started pushing with the money outside, I would have done that. I would have kept it out of the office and just kept the operational and admin in the front.
I'll wrap up on this side. Like, I did start with an outside fractional bookkeeper when we started Skid Steer Nation and all that, because I'd owned businesses in the past. Like, I'm like, we got to do it this way. I will tell you this, though, as a business owner, you have to remember that you're building a team, right?
True.
And that team needs your support. They still need your leadership, because it's still your business. I found that I became the bottleneck in her being able to do her job, because I would be unavailable for calls or unavailable for meetings. I'm like, you're the bookkeeper. What do I need to be in the meeting? Like, my mindset was, I gave it to you. I don't want to worry about it. When she's trying to support me, I didn't support her for a while. Right. So whether it's, in-house is easy because you see them every day.
Right.
But those fractional people that are not in the office, like, you have to have your mind on that. Like, hey, if the bookkeeper, the marketing guy, this guy needs something, I'm only slowing down the whole process if I'm not available.
Literally, man. I've been a bottleneck in so many areas, so many times.
I'm always the bottleneck, Sy.
I know. And it takes me forever to look at it and go, hey, you freaking stupid, get out of the way. Let them do their thing. You don't have to have your hand on it. I tell myself, I kick myself all the time. Just don't judge yourself on yesterday's decisions with today's wisdom. Literally, that'll help your hypercritical minds.
So I have to tell myself all the time, 80% is 100% awesome. So if some employee can do it as 80% as good as I can, that's 100% awesome.
Buy back that time, baby.
That's right. Good old Dan Martell, man. That one just stuck with me, man. Like 80% is 100% awesome. I'm like, oh, it's genius.
It is, because you can't expect 100% out of everybody, man. You just not to your 100% give. It's just, if you're going to think like that, you might as well get out now, because they're just not. They never will be. A great book, Buy Back Your Time, and you can read all about it.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, I always tell business owners, I'm like, write out what your expectations are for that employee, for that, either that task, that project, that role. Because I'll guarantee you, in your head, the expectations you set for them are so high and so unachievable that you set them up for failure every day they come to work, that you're going to be agitated and angry at them. And it's nothing that they did. It's no different than like with your wife, right? Like, you have 3 kids. You could literally walk into your house every day and notice this wasn't put away, or this dishes wasn't done, or this room didn't get vacuumed, right? You look hard enough, you'll always find something.
Always.
But when you start walking in going, man, she's got this place under control, and she get 80% of this. She's had the 3 kids all day. I'll vacuum that room. I'll do
That's right.
Your world changes. Like, you just feel better. And same thing with your employees, man.
100%, my guy. Thank you so much, man, for today. This was awesome. We need to do it more often.
We will. Guys, I want to say thanks to Sy so much. This has been one of my favorite interviews since we started this 3 years ago. I highly recommend go check out his podcast. I think that, the more the merrier, the more education we can get. It's in the show notes, guys. So open them up, click the link, go check it out. We'll probably link your YouTube channel to it too, so they just have direct access to it. And do me a favor, if you listen to this one and you enjoyed it, reach out to him or I and let us know, because this is the type of conversations I think we should be having more often, where it's a really good blend of business life lessons. And, go get a mentor if you want to figure out how to cut the swale. But riding the life journey as a business owner, it's a whole different animal, and that's kind of where we need to be.
Couldn't agree more, man. Appreciate your time.
Hey, until next week, guys, keep working hard, keep your chin up, and we'll see you on the other side.